In the list of animals that people are scared of, snakes seem to make a regular appearance. Their venomous bite and slimy skin usually seals the deal for most people. But 60 million years ago, there was a snake that would put all others to shame. One reptilian that could swallow a grizzly bear in one bite. Enter the Titanoboa. As you could probably tell from the name, this snake was a titan in all senses of the word. It measured around 45 feet in length and weighed over 2,500 pounds. But how do we know any of this is even real? Well, in 2002, Colombian geologists stumbled upon some unusually large vertebrae in a coal mine. They initially labelled it off as crocodilian remains and stored them away. Then a couple years later, after finding 186 bones from over 30 different snake specimens, they finally realised who the vertebrae belonged to. Scientists were completely surprised by these findings. I mean, today it would be impossible to get a snake that big. But you have to realise that 60 million years ago, things looked a little bit different. Earth experienced a period of remarkable reptilian and avian gigantism, occurring roughly 6 to 8 million years after the extinction of non-avian dinosaurs. This era was characterized by a hot, humid climate, which allowed cold-blooded animals to thrive and reach massive proportions. But hot climates without food isn't much use. So what did Titanoboa eat to get so enormous? Titanoboa acted as a semi-aquatic apex predator. It primarily ate large fish along with prehistoric crocodiles such as Ceratonosuchus. It hunted like modern anacondas, submerged in murky water with only its eyes and nostrils above the surface. When the prey came within range, it struck with explosive speed, wrapping its massive coils around the victim, crushing it to death in seconds. The constriction force was unimaginable. Titanoboa could fracture the ribs of a 40-foot crocodile and collapse its lungs before the animal even had time to fight back. To generate that kind of pressure, the snake's body was built like a giant vice, muscles layered over massive vertebrae, each one the size of a dinner plate. The scales would have been large and overlapping, likely dark green or brown to blend in with the murky river water. Coiled on the riverbank, Titanoboa would look like a fallen tree trunk. No movement, no sound, just a mass of muscle waiting in absolute stillness. Only when it struck you would you realise what you were looking at. Once those coils locked around prey, the only thing left was for Titanoboa to open its jaws and begin the process of swallowing. Titanoboa's teeth weren't designed for chewing. They were recurved and needle-sharp, angling backward toward the throat like dozens of tiny fish hooks. When the snake bit down, the teeth locked into the skin. Prey couldn't pull away without tearing itself apart on the backward-facing points. The jaw structure was flexible like all snakes, connected by elastic ligaments that allowed the mouth to stretch impossibly wide. A crocodile's skull the size of a briefcase could slide down its throat hole. Once those jaws clamped down, the body began wrapping. Escape wasn't an option. The skin was thick and heavily keeled, covered in overlapping scales that provided both protection and camouflage. Unlike the smooth scales of some water snakes, Titanoboa's scales had a rough texture that helped it blend seamlessly with submerged logs and river vegetation. Along its belly were wide ventral scales, specialized plates that provided traction. These allowed the snake to move efficiently, both in water and across muddy riverbanks, gripping surfaces that would cause other animals to slip. The eyes sat high on the skull, positioned so Titanoboa could remain almost completely submerged while still watching the surface. Heat-sensing pits lined the upper jaw, detecting the body temperatures of warm-blooded prey even in complete darkness. In that ancient world, Titanoboa had no equals, the largest snake to ever exist, perfectly adapted to a climate we can barely comprehend. The largest snake alive today is the green anaconda. In rare cases, females can reach 20 feet and weigh over 500 pounds. That's impressive by modern-day standards, but it's also less than half the length of a Titanoboa and about a fifth of its weight. Reticulated pythons occasionally exceed anacondas in length, stretching past 25 feet. But they're thinner and lighter, optimized for climbing rather than aquatic ambush. Neither species comes remotely close to what Titanoboa was. Modern snakes are constrained by temperature. Their metabolism depends on external heat, and current tropical climates simply don't provide enough warmth to sustain a giant on that scale. It grew big because the environment demanded it. The hotter the climate, the larger cold-blooded predators can become. If global temperatures rise the way projections suggest, we won't see Titanoboa return. Evolution doesn't work backward like that, but we will see modern snakes grow larger. The fossil records show us that this has happened before, repeatedly. Every time Earth heats up, reptiles get bigger. Every time it cools down, they shrink or die off. Around 58 million years ago, the Paleocene epoch began to cool. Slow decline in global temperatures sustained over millions of years. For most species, this was manageable. Mammals adapted, birds diversified, but for Titanoboa, temperature was a requirement. As average temperatures dropped even a few degrees, the snake's metabolism slowed, digestion took longer, and hunting success declined. A creature that massive needs enormous caloric intake just to maintain basic functions. When the climate no longer supported that level of activity, Titanoboa couldn't compensate. It couldn't migrate to warmer regions because those regions were also cooling. The fossil record shows this decline clearly. Later specimens are noticeably smaller than the early ones. The species was shrinking, trying to adapt to a world that no longer had room for giants. Eventually, around 55 million years ago, Titanoboa disappears entirely from the geological record. If you place a living Titanoboa in the Amazon rainforest right now, it would die from temperature. The modern Amazon averages around 79 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 10 to 15 degrees cooler than the Paleocene swamps that Titanoboa evolved in. For a snake that size, that difference is lethal. Its metabolism would slow to the point where digestion became impossible. Starvation would follow. The biology simply doesn't work in current conditions. That specialization is exactly why nothing like it has evolved since. When the climate cooled and Titanoboa went extinct, no other snake stepped in to fill that niche, because the niche itself disappeared. Modern snakes are constrained by physics and temperature in ways Titanoboa simply wasn't. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I guess that's about it. See ya.